Hello, guys. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Lifetalkpod with Bami. I want to thank each and every one of you that subscribed, shared, and engaged with our content. We appreciate each and every one of you that have come here to listen to unfiltered talk and content. Today is a familiar face with me once again, Chief of Lagos. The last time we was here, we spoke about self care, but we couldn't finish that topic. So wanted to, make another go round of it so I could finish it up. Shopper will be joining us later. He's kind of, preoccupied. And if not, it's just going to be me and Chief here today. So, Chief, how are you now? How's everything? I'm sure the audience knows you, so you don't need to introduce yourself.
Yeah, man. It's good to be back. I'm doing good, man. Just surviving, just taking care of myself. You know the vibes. But it's good to be back, man. Last time we had a great conversation, so
Yeah,
willing to. I'm happy to kind of continue from where we stopped and kind of have a wrap up on this whole self care thing, man. It's
yeah. No, thank you so much. I think the the segment I just wanted to do just a brief recap, before we dive into today's,
yeah, exactly.
I think the first segment we talked about was just trying to understand self care and how it affects our daily life. We wanted to know about the real meaning of self care in the first episode. The second thing we dealt with was setting boundaries and protecting your energy. And the third one, I think there was those two we covered that day because there was not too much time and it was kind of a broad topic. So basically, we just want to move on from there today. I'm glad everybody. I'm glad you are here. Honestly, if you've not been listening to the part one, if you're not listening to part one of this conversation, the part one is on YouTube. You can just click on the subscription button below. You will see everything we talked about. That is the unfiltered truth about self care. That's the topic. We talked about therapy, mental health, self respect, and uncomfortable but necessary act of putting ourselves first. That's what we talked about that first one, but not out of selfishness, but out of survival, sustainability, and self worth. I think that was just the general gist of what happened in the first episode or the first the part one of the whole thing. But I remember a time when I believed that the self care. I think I had to begin with the truth that it took me years to understand that self care isn't just something we do when we are burned out. It is a way of relating to ourselves daily, deliberately, gently. I remember a time when I believed that rest has to be earned. Those times when they say, "He that does not work cannot rest." Rest has to be earned, but no, that's a big lie. You must rest. We're not saying you should be lazy, but you must rest. You must rest your body, rest your mind to be able to regroup, to be able to refresh yourself, and be able to, over time, be safe with your mental health.
I,
Uh,
I have something on that point, on the point of rest. Can I go? Or are you still
No, no, no. That's I'm going to get back to you. That's why it's just
okay?
finished the monologue. So, just to know, I just wanted to know the whole gist of this is that therapy is not a weakness, like what Chief said the last time. It's but a portal to freedom, and that self care is not indulgent; it is intelligent. So, wherever you're listening from, wherever you are striving, if you are thriving, surviving, or somewhere in between, I want to invite you to just listen to us, take a breath, tune in, consider everything we're talking about, and I'm sure in one way or the other, will to influence and not confuse you. Thank you. So, Chief, what do you want to say?
Yeah, so thank you for the introduction. Thank you for laying out the gist of what we talked about in the last episode. If you guys have not watched it, go and see it. It was a very, very insightful episode. We talked about a lot of the topics. Did you talked about including therapy, which I'm not the greatest fan of, but I think we're able to agree that on a professional level, it's kind of important when you need it. Like in a case whereby you're not able to build a healthy environment around yourself and you need someone professional to step in,
Yeah,
right? But the first recourse, which was my point that day, is that people should always seek to build healthy environments that in case they fall, which they will fall, most of us are going to fall in our lives, mentally, physically, financially. There's so many ways you can fall down, but you need the right environment to pick you up. So taking care of your environment is just as important as taking care of self, right? But also we understand that reality might not always allow you to do that. So therapy is one of those professional ways. If you have the budget, if you have the money, if it fits your lifestyle, it's
I
one of
agree
those
now.
important ways you can take care of yourself. Oh, but did you talked on a point that, and I know you have some more important questions coming up, but I feel like it's key to talk about it. I think the rest factor is very overlooked because we live in such a capitalist mindset, society right now, and rest is sometimes demonized. In fact, not sometimes. In fact, you see from all this like the Ashton Hall types how you should wake up 4 a.m. I mean, although some people will tell you that okay, you should sleep early. That's why you should wake up 4 a.m. But you should really always be on this like grind. So people will tell you wake up 4 a.m. but people will still tell you burn the midnight candle. Like you shouldn't. Why others are working. Sorry, while others are sleeping, you should be working.
Yeah.
And that's very dangerous. Like I think one controversial thing because I like to take things to the extreme. I like to take this to the edge, especially on platforms like this. I like to really shock people with opinions. I feel like rest. There's never too much rest.
Mm.
I feel like there's never too much rest. And what do I mean by that? I feel like you should sleep as much as you can. You should rest your mind as much as you can. And you should not you should if what you are doing is restful for your mind, because some people say that watching movies is a form of rest and stuff like that, or scrolling TikTok. So rest can be toxic, and I don't agree to all forms of rest. But in terms of actual rest that replenishes your mind, soul, and body, it's never enough. You should
Mm.
rest as much as you can. So I think that's so. I'm open to the comment section to whoever disagrees with that. But what do you think about that, DG?
Um, like I think I agree with you to an extent
Mm.
because yes, we need to rest, but not
Yes.
overdo it. Like
So what would you call overdoing of rest?
I think there was a time when we were in like school, like
Mm-hmm.
the normal time
Mm-hmm.
for they say all these successful people that the normal time they sleep is like 8 hours max.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, I think you have to watch yourself. I didn't say you should not rest, but like you
Mm.
can't just rest and rest and rest and rest. You have to work first of all.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts.
But
Facts. Though.
yeah, you have to work. But when you are overdoing something, it's also known as abuse. If you are
Yeah.
overdoing, you are abusing that thing also. So if you overrest or you oversleep, it's abuse.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the right amount is whatever you feel
Mm.
appropriate to you. So it is
So
you that will not decide your body,
so
your
that's my point. That's you just touched on exactly my point. And
yeah,
obviously, I like to say things as shock factor. But yeah, too much of anything is not good. But I feel like you touched on my point. I feel like we should be preaching because what gets preached in society, right, is not sleeping enough. But
yeah,
we should be preaching sleeping too much so that people can at least be comfortable. Because I think you hit the nail on the head. Rest, rest being too much should be determined by the individual.
yeah.
Like
Okay.
not like we shouldn't put a certain time and say, oh, you slept too much or you've listened too much or you rested too much. When we're actually talking about rest, I'm not talking about goofing around. I'm talking about playing. I'm not talking about like doing things that tax your mind and you're calling it rest. I'm talking about when people need to get some rest. We should be preaching get as much rest as you need instead of get as little rest as possible and be on your grind.
Yeah,
Because and I feel like even these billionaires, I think you even raised another good point with the billionaires. Are you aware that billionaires sleep more than the average person? They tell you, in fact, they tell you that most billionaires they like they're always awake, they're always active, which is not true. A lot of the healthy ones, well, there are some toxic ones, but a lot of the healthy ones, like when you go through their daily schedules, most of them are resting a lot, which is why, and it's only like 4 or 5 hours of the day they're very, very, very productive. And in those
yeah,
4 or 5 hours, they manage to they set up systems so that they can just come in and make strategic decisions and key decisions and then go back to whatever they are doing.
Yeah.
So what my main point is that we should actually be preaching for the other way instead of too little of rest.
Yeah.
That's actually my point. Like, so, but obviously I get it. Like, you have to work, you have to make money, you have to be productive. But I feel like, because when you go back to medieval Africa, like when you go back to the time before labor was really a thing,
Yeah.
like when nobody worked for anybody, do you know that working for people, like working for someone else, back then was not a thing in Africa?
Yeah, it
Like,
was the white man that brought it to
that
us.
brought the concept of labor.
Yes.
So when you are preaching all these things,
Everybody had their own farm. Everybody had their own plot of land that they farm.
yes, and you did what you needed to do to
For your family.
survive and for your family. Do you get? Or for
Yeah.
your community, you did what
Yeah.
you needed to do. You
Yeah.
didn't clock in and clock out for someone else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like this clock in and clock out mindset is one of the mindsets used to keep people unhealthy, to keep people chasing something that they will never have, chasing this. Yes, everybody believes that they are going to be a billionaire one day, when it's only 1% of the population that is a billionaire.
Work, you follow
If
this
you
life,
walk,
go to school, do this,
cap,
that, make it.
cap. You should so the goal should be to set up your life that you can rest as much as possible, so that you can live as long as possible. Bro, 20 years of 8 hours working 10 hours every day can never be better than 60 years of 5 hours every day.
Yeah.
And this is really where we are talking about, like, in terms of self-care. I feel like this is the part that actually gets overlooked the most, because people rather work themselves to death, right, than work sustainably over their life. And this is where this is, in fact, a lot of people, it affects so many homes, especially black men, like, because we are the ones that feel this extra pressure to, like, be something, because black men have this and it's sad to even talk about, but we have this feeling that we are not enough, just us. Like, if you're not a rich black man, if you're not providing for your family, if you're not providing, you're useless, you are nobody. And it's not good. Like, you are okay, and I understand that, like, these real life economic realities, right, and things like that. But these are nothing they don't tell you. Bro. And advanced societies will show you. Bro, go to fucking Switzerland. Go to all these countries that are really, really advanced and have good socialism structures. Even if you're not working, you are okay.
Yeah, but I don't believe in socialism. I believe in capitalism.
That's a different conversation. We can have a different podcast, so I'm not going to debate that. But what I'm going to tell you is that this country, so even in the UK, for example, that we both live, you are aware of unemployment benefits.
Yeah, I do.
For their citizens. You are aware of it.
Yeah, there.
We are aware of their free healthcare benefits.
Yeah.
So they have structures in place that takes care of people that don't even work.
Yeah, definitely.
You get. And for me, I believe societies should be set up in a way that the government should take care of everyone, not just the people that work. So that the people that want to work, and then now we're entering socialism debate. But my point is that doctors should not be turning down people that are sick because they don't have money.
I don't
right? You don't agree with that?
No, sorry. I mean, I agree with that.
Okay. Like, nobody should be hungry because they don't have money. Nobody should have anywhere. Nobody should not have shelter because they don't have money. The basic amenities of life should be provided to everyone. So what they don't tell you is that when you don't have those things, it's not because you are lazy. It is because your government is not doing what they are supposed to do. So, but we don't have to enter the society. I think we both agree on that I think most people should be taken care of, and then anything after that, after the basic, you should work for it. That one, I agree. So what they're also not trying to tell you with this, like, grind mindset, is that you are not taking the accountability away from your government that's supposed to take care of you, to yourself, to everybody, taking care of them. Nobody should be their own government, bro. And I don't want to enter the socialism, but this is why politics is very interesting, because politics affects everything you do.
That one is that was the topic for another day.
Yes,
Definitely,
another day.
I will consider that one.
Consider it, man. It's a very like and this.
I've been into politics like I think this year that
Mm-hmm.
even my mom and dad, they are just like wow, like they're like always making fun at times that okay,
Mm.
we see you
Mm.
talk to him about this topic or this subject too.
Well, politics is important. We cannot have
uh,
any of these conversations without the political
yeah,
aspect. Like it's everything that we do political. Like even self care. How can you take care of yourself in a country like Nigeria that everybody is struggling, bro? How can you really and truly take care of yourself?
I feel
You
like you
know,
have some of doing that. you have to
you have
create it.
to.
You have to create it.
You do no you do have
Yeah,
to, you do have to, but
make
bro,
it.
there's only so much of the system you can, like, look at my dad now. Or I don't know the situation you're from, but I can speak with my dad, bro. My dad had to break his back in order to send me and my brothers out of the country, right? He had
Yeah,
to break his back,
it's
and
like
there was no other option, bro.
this.
Hello.
I said
Yeah.
you have to sacrifice.
Yeah, like, so most people are put in the choice in Nigeria whereby you have to,
Mm.
and this was even to do like even a luxury thing, sending your kids out of the country. Some people can't afford to eat, you know, or can't afford to feed their family. So the economic realities of a lot of people is that they cannot indulge in self care.
Yeah.
If not, people around them will starve. So that's the truth.
Yeah, because the first instinct of man is to feed. So if I can feed, like I think most people, especially back at home,
Mm-hmm.
once you can feed your family,
Yeah. Okay.
you have made it. You are
Yes.
good because
Yes.
and you can provide like shelter over their heads.
Yeah.
You are good.
Yeah.
So
So
the other things that affect daily psyche and
yeah,
psyche of children, they don't really care about it because they say, okay, you have food, you have clothes, you have roof over your head. What else do
bro.
you
Once your baby is
want?
hungry, they don't care whether you have brushed your teeth, whether
Don't want to.
your health is good. They will cry.
Yeah, so why everybody has eaten in the house, everybody
Uh-huh.
and everybody can sleep at night
You
peaceful.
get, you
Everybody,
get.
yes, we are
So
all good.
so you cannot ignore the economic reality. You cannot
Yeah,
ignore the political atmosphere. So
yeah.
without these things in place, bro, fuck your system. Fuck your system of self care. Okay, look, leave Nigeria. Imagine being in Ukraine during the Russia attacks. How you want to run them, my brother? How do you want to run it? Or imagine being alive during World War II. How you want to run self care? You
You know,
get.
you know, I used to. I think there's one. I think when I was coming up, I think
Mm-hmm.
there was a prayer that I used to pray. Like I was thanking God that they didn't give back to me back in the Civil War, back in Nigeria.
Brother, every day I was thankful, man. When you read history,
What happened? I said no. I can't. Thank God they didn't give back to
you're
me.
talking about the Biafran Civil War, right?
Yeah. Biafran
Oh
Civil
my,
War.
that could even be another separate podcast,
No, I'm
honestly.
talking about the one that we could actually, what do you call it, relate to, which is Nigeria.
And that's
The
what I'm
thing,
saying, that the
I'm not
Nigerian
talking
Biafran,
about, I'm not talking about World War. I'm talking about the ones that we can
yeah,
relate to.
that's
The
the
one that,
Biafran War now. The Civil War, that's the war we had, the Biafran War.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was saying like, thank God they didn't give back to me through the military regime first of all, because
Ah,
because every time I'm hearing the account of these people, I said no,
ah. People
these
were
people,
eating, people were eating lizard.
these people were resilient mentally because for them to have gone through that and be able to come out fine on the other side, I really give them their flowers. No,
El-
I think our parents really, they really fought a good fight.
it doesn't our parents, it was our it was our great grandparents and grandparents.
Because
Our
there was
grand our
yeah,
grandparents were the kids during that time.
yes,
Our grandparents were the kids during that time. It was
yeah.
bad. It was
So
bad.
yeah.
Our parents enjoyed themselves. Our parents were we talked about it last show. Our
Yeah,
parents were our parents were born in the time, although they saw military as a bit
but
of Abacha's era, right? But most of things were good compared to now and compared to the time before then. They had the best time. Our parents
that
had the best time.
is one thing that we can all agree. They enjoyed most of them enjoyed free education.
Yes, our parents grew up during the oil boom. They grew
Yeah,
up when Nigeria discovered oil. So like
uh,
time was good. Like when you finished, most of them will tell you once you finish uni, you are guaranteed a job and a house
Uh,
and a car. But
yeah,
do you get like so that time was good. Like you
yeah,
were, that's why they pushed all of us to uni because in their mind, uni was automatic job, Uni was
yeah.
automatic, you know. That was like a lot of them, their goal was education, 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 education. But now you see it 200,000 people graduating, no job. 200,000 lawyers graduating, no job. No law
That,
like
that's
so
that's into
how
the
many
next
accountants
thing.
graduated from our class? How many of them are doing accounting? You know?
Tell me. Are you,
Are you even doing accounting yourself?
ah,
No before, brother.
you, I
So
can't.
the time that we, but my point is the economic reality matters before,
Yeah,
and the political. So and it matters in every single thing you do. So that's why when people say they don't want to be political, for example, which is another different topic, like some people be like, I don't like politics. Keep me away out of politics, brother. Whether you like it, you do not like it
yeah,
is
I've been affected.
coming. The result of it is coming for you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
even you saying somebody says, Shenkuti says this.
yeah. If that's a political statement in itself,
Yes, you said I'm not political is a political statement. Oh my god, man. Oh my
that's
god, man.
itself. Thank you. Like it's always like a vibe chatting with you, man.
Oh
I want,
yeah, same here, man.
yeah, I wanted to go into this segment. I call it therapy and mental health because I
Mm,
feel like you are in the best position to discuss this
mm,
segment with us. I think you've experienced therapy,
yes.
babe.
I've
So
been
I
to
wanted
two
to know,
therapy sessions.
yeah, I have 3 questions in this segment.
Mm,
Just indulge me, please. So the first question is: what internalized beliefs did you have to unlearn
mm,
before accepting the idea of therapy? You know, we as Nigerians now, or I don't want to say black people. I think most times there's this belief that we don't need therapy. We are strong
mm,
enough to overcome everything that has been thrown our way.
mm,
So in that mindset, we don't need to go for therapy. But those kind of beliefs, do you have to unlearn them first before accepting the idea of therapy?
That's a beautiful question. That's a that's a solid question because I was trying to find out where you were going because you know that I don't really like therapy. But
Yeah.
but the way you asked it, it makes me realize that it's not just therapy we're talking about. It's the act of relying on a professional or on somebody else to guide you when you're in a time of need. And so that's why I like the question. And what internalized belief? And there's really one that prevents you. There's one major belief that prevents you from it, be it from seeking therapy or from opening up to other people
Mm.
generally. And that belief is the belief in oneself. So it's in the belief that you can solve everything yourself. It's in the belief that opening up is weak. It is in the belief that that everything is going to be okay. Kashama Dukbe is going to be all right. Yeah, and and on the face of it, it's a good thing to be positive. On the face of it, it's a good thing to believe you are strong. On the face of it, it's a good thing to believe that everything is going to be okay. You should actually believe those things. But you should also believe in the power of others and their ability to help you. And you should also believe in the power. And if we are going to even use strictly therapists, and this is where I kind of agree with therapists, you should believe in professionals and the ability of professionals to do their job. So, for example, let me give you a separate example that's not therapy. Doctors. You know, there are some people that are like, oh, I trust myself and I trust the ability of myself to take care of myself. So I don't believe in any doctor. Doctors are and uh, and because of that, they refuse to go to hospital.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm in that
there's
category.
some people like that. What do you say?
I'm in that category.
Yeah.
I don't like going to the hospital at all. To the gym,
Yes.
I don't. I hate it.
Yes. Yes. Me
So
too. Me too. I'm not gonna lie. Like me too. In fact, I believe the whole. I remember we talked about this. I believe the
Yeah.
whole industry is set up to continue to keep you sick and to get money from you.
Yeah.
But this is where you cannot underestimate the power of professionals. And let's use another different example. We're accountants, or we study accounting, right? We're not necessarily accountants anymore. We study accounting, and yes, you can manage your money by yourself. But do you think an accountant cannot point you to one or two things that will help you after studying it all their lives? Same way as a doctor and same way as a therapist. Professionals, it is their job to be professional, to and what does being professional mean? To treat what they are doing with utmost care and due diligence. That's what being
Yeah.
a professional means. And the arrogance of you to assume that a professional cannot point you in a direction that could help you will be a downfall for you.
Mm.
You have to believe that people can do their jobs, or people can add value to you, especially when they have taken their time to do so, or when they have made it their life to do so.
But
You have to believe that.
I make a counterpoint.
Okay.
Because right now, the professionals are not political.
Mm.
They
And
drive they drive
yes.
their agenda into you, like your beliefs. Okay, this is an hypothetical scenario. Let's say you have a son and he says, Dad, I think I'm a lady.
This is a strong topic.
God made a mistake and I'm a girl. Why am and you carry this your son
to the
you now carry
doctor,
a professional
and they say they should cut his prick.
head and make him believe that he's a girl true. What is that? Because he's supposed to help this guy and say, come, I don't understand. Hey guy, you are a man, you have the features, the physical attributes of a man, you have God created you in his own image beautifully, wonderfully.
Yeah.
Makes you think that you're a woman, and the professional now dabaru your son's head and make him feel like he's a girl.
Good.
So what
Good.
do you say about that?
So
Because you have to
this
trust the professionals. I am fine with that.
okay. I said
But in this day and
professionals,
age,
right?
in this day and age, the professionals have turned political. That's what I'm trying to say. Hello, Chief, are you there?
I'm here. Can you? Is the recording? Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording, but you're static.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you, but it's not. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
Hopefully, my camera shook, so hopefully it doesn't affect it.
I said so. What?
I heard you. So my response to that is, you are right, but I didn't say trust all professionals. I said trust the professionals, and this is where you need to draw the line. No, it's not. It's not an escape, because when I said that, I was thinking about that soon. I was actually thinking about it, so I use my words very, very carefully. The problem we have nowadays is that the professionals that we're talking about now, a lot of people or a lot of professionals are not doing their job out of due care. They're doing their job to make money and go home. In fact, most people, look at football, look at sports. How many footballers do you watch? And if you want to be honest with me, if you're going to be honest with me from what you see as a fan, I don't know if you still watch sports regularly, but as a fan, okay, good. I spent the whole day watching El Clasico and Chelsea match. I'm still a bit frustrated that Chelsea lost today. But how many footballers do you see really that are playing football because of the love of the game and because they want to be at the highest level possible? Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
When you see those footballers are not doing that, you give them a contract, or do you advise your club to give them a contract? Exactly. So you as a fan, you as a client, you need to be able to gauge, this doctor, are they doing it because they want to help a life, or because they want to make money. These therapists, are they doing it because they genuinely care about the person or their clients, or because they want to make money? I don't get me wrong, everybody should make money, should want to make, but that cannot be your only motive. And that is what we are seeing from a lot of people. These doctors that you're talking about that recommend people for trans surgeries willy-nilly, it's not because they don't care about people. It's because there's a $1 billion industry behind
God will bless you, because like I want to
it.
yeah.
There's a
As
billion.
somebody,
Do you know how much? Do you know how much trans surgery is?
yeah.
And it's paid for by the government. Is what I heard.
Thank you. I don't,
So,
like
uno go accept free 15
kind of
pa
kind of wonder. Sorry,
to my
because
hospital.
that these people are scientists. They understand basic biology. How will somebody that understands basic biology not tell me that
The cap
something and they are writing thesis that will back up that nonsense?
is the same. Is the same reason why doctors reject patients from the hospital in Nigeria. It's the same reason. It's his
it's so sad.
profits. And that's why we cannot have any of these conversations without the political aspect. And
Yeah.
and this is why when you say you're a capitalist, I look at you like, do you really understand what you're saying when you say that? But I don't want to go into that right now, because this is the problem with capitalism. This is the problem with capitalism. The problem with capitalism is that when you say everything is for profit, the things that are not profitable don't make sense. If you ain't talking money, you ain't talking sense. That's the problem you face with capitalism. And don't get me wrong, socialism has its aspects, its bad aspects. But this is the problem capitalism faces.
Capitalism, what I'm trying to say is like, it gives you the ability to bank on yourself and your ability to bank, to go to and say yes to Irebami. I believe in my skills, in my ability as a person, as a graduate of this, and I want to bet on myself.
Yes.
Make it this big. That is what I'm about. Not somebody comes to say,
That's the
this is,
good side of it, though. That's the
yeah,
good side of it, though.
yeah.
But the bad side of it
I understand
remains
what you're saying,
that
definitely.
if it's not making money, it doesn't make sense. That is capitalism too. So
Yeah.
you have to, and this is where you have to, and that's why most societies, the most advanced society, have a perfect mix of both. Like if we look at China and why they're doing so well now, they operate both in capitalism and its communism. That's why people call them the Communist Party of China. But China is very, very industrial and capitalist. So most advanced societies operate both very, very well and try to take the good sides of both. But that's a different conversation. Let's not veer off. My point at the end of the day is that yes, you should trust the professionals, but you should also do your due diligence as a client and ask yourself, is this professional doing their job? And is this professional acting out in the best interest of the client, or are they acting out of a profit motive? And that's the question, and that's how you solve the question of which professional do I trust. But the extreme is not what you should now do. You should now not say, I am not trusting any professional. You are going to kill yourself, my brother.
Don't get to the fringes.
Yes, you cannot be too extreme. You cannot say because there's a problem with professionalism level in our society because of profit motive, you should then go into the woods and set up shop and be a herbalist.
Thank you. So I need to know how you differentiate between seeking help, feeling weak for needing support. Most people don't say, okay, for you to even speak out, that like, I think there's this mentality in Africa also that men don't cry or something like that kind of, so, and you are dying inside, but yet you can't speak out. So if you speak out that you need support, they'll say, oh, this one is weak, Jerry, is not strong. So how can we differentiate between seeking help and seeking help and feeling weak for needing support? We have to differentiate that, yes, you needing support does not necessarily make you weak, but you are just a human being. Everybody needs support. Even God had to give man wife for her to support him, because you cannot do everything by yourself.
According to the Bible. Yeah. Okay, so that's a very good question too. Like, how do you avoid being weak? Or like, how do you seek help but
No,
don't do it in.
it. How do you differentiate between seeking help and that need for support? Like that feeling of weakness that I need this thing and I need like
So when you say differentiate, do you mean separate the two things?
yeah, I want you to separate the two. I want you to separate the two. You have to you can seek help, but in some societies and some cultures, they feel that you needing support makes you weak, makes you less than capable, and it affects general productivity among men nowadays. That they feel like okay, it is okay for you to not take care of yourself as a man, die in silence.
When taking care of yourself requires
Yeah,
help from others.
yeah.
So the answer to that is by surrounding yourself by people you trust. That's just the truth, and there's no way around it. Like, even when we're saying people you trust, that includes the professionals you surround yourself with. So the truth is that when you have people you trust, so and I don't know, I think you've experienced. You talked about this with your friendship with Biggie last time.
Yeah.
When there's a level of friendship you build with someone that no matter what's wrong with you, you can always tell the person.
Obvious, yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Like, there's a strong bond you have with people in your life that no matter how down you are, you guys can even joke about it.
Yeah.
The truth is, and this is the sad truth about it, without that, you cannot, unless you have a very, 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 very strong character, you have no insecurities, which most people is very hard. It's very hard for most people. Like, because most of us, why we develop these insecurities and why we develop trust issues and why we develop that, I don't want to look bad in front of this person, I don't want to look weak in front of, it's because of trauma. It's because when we're growing up as kids, we experience a time of feeling weak and being laughed at. We experience a time of feeling weak and being abused. We experience a time of maybe you borrowed money and then somebody went to go and talk about it, that, look at this guy. Look at that guy. Look at this guy. So most of us, and then we closed off and said, I don't want to feel like that again.
Yeah.
Or we might not have even experienced trauma ourselves, just from what we see on social media. If you are a broke guy, you don't have sense. If you are this thing, you don't have sense. If you are this thing, you shouldn't be talking to me. Just from internalized trauma of what. That's why I like to protect myself from what I watch. I don't like to watch anything I see on social media because I know that part of me internalizes it after watching it.
Yeah. I think it's been a while since I went on Instagram, actually.
Yeah. I'm really my biggest problem now is Twitter. Twitter is what I'm struggling with. I've overcome Instagram, I've overcome TikTok.
But the Twitter part of it for me is the politics of it.
That's the thing, because Twitter is the best news channel.
I'm not there for the political news. Else.
Yes.
I'm not there for trolling. I don't even know how to troll.
Bro, I want to keep up with what's happening, but the problem with that is that there's no end. You can keep scrolling. That's the issue. So that's the issue. Right. So, but back to what we're saying, yeah. If you cannot develop a high trust community or a high trust friendship, family around you, it will always be hard to rely on other people for help and for support. It will be too hard. It's hard to rely on strangers. And in fact, most strangers don't even have your best interest in mind. So why will I rely on we don't have those communities anymore that people just around you before. Like we talked about it the last time. We live in a country whereby you don't even know your neighbor's name most of the time.
Yep.
You don't even know the religion they worship. You don't even know their culture. You don't even. So if something's happening to me now, can I go and rely on them?
I think there was this story I heard. I think there was this footballer that was saying that he has this friend that the person lived in the streets in the UK, and the neighbor of this guy died, and nobody knew for like 3 months.
Brother.
It was when his tent like become unbearable that that's
horrific. Everybody has had a story like that.
Guys, guy died like 3 months ago. What happened? And
the one I heard was that the cat ate the owner's dead body inside the house
Ah,
because the dead body, like he was dead and he was there for months, and the
yeah.
cat was eating from it.
When they not feed the cat, what the cat eat? Okay.
So this is the kind of communities we are living in nowadays, and
Yeah.
even Africa is becoming like that. It's not
Mm.
Africa is becoming like, if you go to all this island now back in Lagos, does anybody know anybody in the
But
island now?
it's better because
It's
I'm
better
like,
than here, Sha. It's better than here
I
because
didn't even know
insecurity.
there's still this
Yes.
oneness of trying to interact with people.
Yeah. I'm.
That
I'm.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah. There
interact.
is there because at the end of the day,
I,
right?
I, I,
Why it's better in Nigeria is because at least we're all Nigerians. I think most of the time we're all Nigerian.
they're
You
all
get
Nigerian.
here. You can be here. You're living beside an Indian. You're living the Indian is living beside the Jamaican. Yeah, so we already have this like, oh, our cultures are different. Oh, let me not disturb you. Let me. I don't want to allow. You get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and this is the problem. So the first step you have to do, unfortunately, is to surround yourself by people you trust. Without that, it's going to be hard to rely on others. But at the end of the day, it's also the mindset too, because some people can have a high trust community around them and still lock up. So the truth is, you really have to break that mindset, and because you're not an island. You're not someone that can do everything by yourself. If you
Yeah.
even look at most households, how was it? How is the family? Like the way my family was set up. My mom had to quit her job early, her career early, to take care of us as the kids. My dad had to double his hustle. So I even grew up in an environment whereby I saw that everybody has to play their roles. If not, una no go survive.
Mm.
Una no go survive. So it's a teamwork thing. Life is teamwork. And if you keep thinking that, oh, you can do everything by yourself, it's life that will teach you. It's life that will teach you. You will hit a point whereby you cannot carry yourself anymore. And if you don't learn from that, then you will learn the hard way.
Okay. So don't learn, don't
You're
play.
gonna learn. Exactly. So
Don't play.
so if you think you're a lagbara, you will learn. Life will teach you that you cannot do everything yourself. So
Yeah.
I think that's is a very, very old mindset. It's very, 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 like, you should be able to, I mean, there's also part of you that you shouldn't be a crybaby. And this is
Mm.
another thing that we need to talk about. Like, so people like, and this is where the extremes come back into the conversations. This part of you, as part of your drive as a man, should be one of the things that motivates men should be your
Mm.
ability to help others. If you're always crying, you cannot be in a situation whereby you're helping others.
Yeah.
This is the truth. So there's also the extreme part of it that you shouldn't cry, but you should be able to rely on others in the sense that, oh, this is what I can do myself. Where can someone help me out?
Mm.
But it's not like now. Like, everyone should be solution oriented. Like, you shouldn't focus on your problem, which is what crying is to a degree. There's crying that, oh, I've had it up to here. I just need to let out a release and then get back to what I'm doing, right? And that's different. Like, that's a different thing. But when you now make that your go-to strategy, when you have any problem, then obviously that is
Yeah.
doing too
Yeah.
much.
But I also want to, like, we're already like in the final stages. I want to just like go
Mm,
have a deep reflection into so I
mm.
just have two questions for you and we're done.
Okay.
It's like, I wanted to like know who taught you what self worth means and
Mm,
how has that definition evolved? Like the meaning of self worth
mm,
and how has that definition evolved for you personally? I could give you mine, but you're the
mm.
guest. You know.
Okay. If,
I
if we have time, I would like to hear yours too. Okay, let me
okay,
go.
okay. I think I think as the first child of my
Mm.
family,
Same here, same here.
yeah,
We're both
the,
first kids. I didn't even know that. Yeah.
yeah, as the first child of my family,
Mm.
I think I've always felt this responsibility on my shoulders of caring for my younger ones and everything. But
Mm.
I think the people and I give credit to them, my parents, my folks, are the first people that taught me what self worth means. Like
Mm.
telling me they're proud of me, of what I've done, what I've
Mm.
achieved. you know, even right from an early age, trying
Mm.
to make, how would I put it now? The decisions um that I have made that have brought me to where I am today
Mm-hmm.
was not just a decision made by me alone,
Yes.
collective as a family,
Yeah.
but in that decision they are still supporting you. For
Yeah.
example, the secondary school we picked, like everybody went to different secondary schools.
Okay.
As I had to run
We all
to
went to the same in mine.
that's you
Mm.
see, me as I had to run to my own state, Ogun
Mm.
State, to school for six
I
years.
went to Ogun State too.
Yeah, my sister stayed in
Mm-hmm.
Lagos. My brother went to Ogun State too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different. So, but like they gave us the free will to choose what you
Really?
wanted to do. Yes, what you wanted to do.
At
It's
that
not,
young age.
it's not that you must do medicine, you must
Okay.
do accounting. No. So when I wanted to, transition to the senior
Mm-hmm.
class, I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of, how will I put it? I was lost. So it took my dad to sit down with me and see, okay, this are what you're stronger. This you could do this, you could do that. So
Mm-hmm.
um, the decision we made made it possible for me to be able to read any course in the
Mm-hmm.
arts or commercial. That is, I could do
Mm-hmm.
accounting, I could do law, I could do public service, I could do international relations, I could do anything that I could do because of my subject combination, why, you know. And that decision was not made by me, but my dad made me believe that yes, I could do that because I felt I didn't want to do accounting. So he was the one that said you could do that. And the first time I did it, I passed so well that I was one of the top three in that subject
Mm-hmm.
in my class. So kudos to them.
So your
When I went,
parents, your dad gave you your first
yeah, both of them.
realization.
So when I
Your
wanted to,
both your parents, okay.
yeah, when I wanted to enter University of Lagos, they wanted me to study law.
Mm.
It was like a battle because I was not so um good at mathematics. So they said, okay,
Mm.
you have to brush up on your maths for what. So I didn't even enter school that first year. I had to stay
Mm.
here at home. But that year at home that I stayed, yes, it was mathematics.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I had to
Yeah.
brush up on that maths for 1 year.
Mm.
Then I entered Unilag the next year.
Mm.
And I did the course I wanted to do, which was accounting, not law.
Mm.
I know that
Mm.
if I did that law, I would have been miserable.
That's
Which is
funny
why,
because earlier you didn't want to do accounting, and then
yeah,
later you
I,
now want.
had to go back and learn about that mathematics, because a
Mm.
lot of calculations that you said, what we went through.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah. I
what I'm
remember
saying is that if I did law,
mathematics that we're not using anymore.
and now if I had studied law, I might not have, and I might have been miserable because the two law courses that we even did, the coding and quoting of the company law that we did, bro,
Mm-hmm.
it took me.
Now law is not easy. Lawyers are trying.
What I'm saying, we did business law, we did company law, and those two
Mm-hmm.
courses were just like, oh my god, what is
Mm.
this?
Mm.
Which is why I said I know that yes, I could not do it, but thankfully they supported me in that decision.
Yeah.
They made me feel that yes, you could do it. Actually, you just need to just put your mind to this and that and that, and which is one thing I'm very grateful for. Their
Mm-hmm.
support at every point in time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and praise when praise is due, criticism
Yeah.
when criticism is due,
Yeah.
and shouting when shouting is due.
I've been now. My dad is the obvious answer too. My dad is the obvious answer for me. Two things that I feel like he did for me early on that made me appreciate my self-worth and the importance of taking care of myself. First thing was he every year he always made it compulsory that we went back to our hometown in Edo State, of which
Mm,
I hated at the time. I wanted to stay in Lagos most times. No, when I was very, very young, I loved it. But when I started getting older, I started getting annoying, right? Like, my friends are in Lagos, and then I have to go back to Edo State. But now that I'm older, I have a sense of belonging in terms of where I'm from
yeah.
and my connection with my roots.
Yes,
And I,
I don't fresh now. I don't. I get red man. I get everybody.
is
Now
it
why
like,
not?
yes, now, yes, now, yes, now, what top, what top three, and we're not two or three.
They, they,
Just joking. But Yeah, I'm proud to be from Edo State. We have
Yeah.
Rema, we have Charlie Poppy, we have Odem Wingy, we have it. The list
Uh,
goes on.
on the lighter mood, yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
the list goes on. But so the connection with my roots, my family, and my ancestors was very important for me. That was number one. The second thing he did was he made me very, very literate. He pushed me to be very, very literate. So from when I was 4, it made me learn. So I started learning chess. I started reading books frequently. From when I was 9, 10, it got me Shakespeare, the complete works of William Shakespeare. He made sure I read it. Before I was 15, he made sure I finished the Bible. So he used to push me to do a lot of reading and writing.
Yeah,
And I felt like in all those books and in all those experiences, I was able to gain confidence just because of knowledge.
yeah,
I was able to gain. So 2 things I did that pushed me to have that self-belief. On a lighter note, though, or to a more fun answer, actually, because I don't think I really, really discovered that sense of self, even with all of this, until I entered uni. Until we met in uni. I entered uni. And my my first external influence, and this is actually a very funny answer, was actually Kanye West. Kanye West's first album, College Dropout. When I listened to his first, at that time his first 3 albums come out, and it was a story of how he dropped out of college and realized that it's not about college, it's about you being what you want to be and doing what you want, right? And so
yeah.
his first few albums, a lot of, I don't know if you've listened to them, but like a lot of
No,
a lot
when he
of
went,
a lot
he's
of
gone crazy now. So
that is crazy. But
yeah,
those
so
his first 3 albums, he won Grammys for 3 of them.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I
College
think
Dropout, Late Registration, and I've forgotten the last one. Uh, but his first 3 albums was and listening to a lot of, and I know not just him. There was a lot of I started listening to albums after that. Jay-Z, all these like rap guys that old 50 Cent, like all these guys that just give Drake, that was just like confidence. Like you should just be
yeah,
confident. You should just
yeah.
be like, you should go into the world and say, "Fuck it, I'm him." You know. Sorry for swearing. I don't know if you can swear on here, but just like, screw it, I'm him, man. I can like I can go into the world and I can decide that this is what I want to do and I can achieve it.
Yeah,
So that was like now like my wow, like my like my first moment realizing that you could be him if you wanted to be. Like you could, anything you want to do, as long as you believe it, you can achieve it. So
yeah,
that was really where my confidence went to the next level when I started like listening to stuff like that. And then obviously a lot of more life experience this happened, and a lot of achievements and all those things came after that really boosted it. Which is where I think the real thing happens. I think confidence kind of the definition of confidence. Confidence is nothing but confidence is nothing but um what's the beautiful way, I cannot remember, and I wish I remember who said it so I can give the person their due credit. But it's a list of continued achievements. So like when you keep achieving stuff, confidence just grows. So
yeah.
going out into the world and doing things is really
Mm.
where your real, because people can
And
tell you, people can
they
prop
are
you
not
up.
about they are not about what you just said now.
Yes,
The topic, the last topic that we did was talking
yes,
about embracing failure. So I
yes.
don't know how I can relate the two together because that,
Yeah,
the last topic that we did was about embracing failure. It's not about
yes.
like embracing failure in the sense that you can fail, but that doesn't mean like you
You are a
learn from
failure. Yes,
you. The failures are part of who you are.
and they are part of the process.
Yeah. So I don't know how you can correlate that with
Oh,
this thing.
I agree completely. I agree completely because in achieving you
Now, I want,
must fail.
that's what I'm saying. I want you to correlate with that with this your quote because I want my audience to be able to understand that yes, even if you don't achieve continuous success back to back to back to back,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean your confidence cannot grow. Honestly, it doesn't
Yes,
mean that.
confidence comes from doing. It doesn't actually come from
Mm,
from 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 winning. It comes from doing. The more you do, the more you become confident. So,
but the point in my
but the more
life,
you think, the more you stay stuck in your head, the more you will become frail, the less you
Yeah.
will believe in yourself. So you actually have to go out and do, and that is where the confidence comes from.
Mm,
Comes from going out and doing preparation, and at the end of the day, achievement.
thank you so much. So this is the last question I want to ask you. And please,
Okay,
I want to, I want
wrap
to
up. Yeah.
pay to go and rest.
Honestly, I'm tired. The matches today were exhausting.
Yeah,
Barcelona wanted to kill Madrid.
I was not. I just pray if just finish fifth. That's just my own prayer.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
don't
a
know.
Chelsea fan too now, yeah?
Yes, that was I said I pray
Ah,
we should so that everybody
bro,
will.
but Nottingham drew today, which is what cheered me off at the end of the day.
Tottenham lost.
No, they drew. They drew. Not Nottingham. They drew.
Oh, yes, that was I was happy too. So
Yeah,
we are still.
we're still in it. We just need
But
to
the
beat
two matches
them.
we are facing, you are facing Man U and we are facing them.
They are
So
not. They are not in Jerry. We
I
can beat them. Newcastle
don't.
is the hottest team right now, so I
Oh,
don't. I don't blame us for losing to them. Newcastle.
yeah, 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 yeah.
They are the hottest team, and even with that, they had to. We had to get a red card
I want
for.
to have
If not
Man
for that
U.
red card, we would probably still have been in it. Apologies for the people that don't watch football that are watching this.
So I wanted to just know this question. We are just doing a deep reflection, and this
Mm-hmm.
question is actually I had to actually coin this question so that we can understand how far we have come with this topic. So I wanted to ask, in what ways has your self care journey changed your relationship with others?
Mm.
How has it changed who you are? How has it changed the relationship you have with your friends, with other people, with people that you try to meet daily, and you that you're in the entertainment space?
Mm.
You do a lot of going out. I don't go out that much, so
Mm.
I'm the kind of person that likes to stay indoors.
I've
Except I,
reduced it now. I don't go out as much as I used to, too, but
uh,
yeah,
so how has the self care journey? How has it changed the
change my
relationship?
relationship with other people. So I love the fact that you asked that question, because the earlier question you asked was going to
Self,
my first
yeah,
discovery or when I was younger. This
yeah,
question you asked right now is something that maturity and just my recent experiences have allowed me um to learn. I feel like when I was younger, even though I believed in myself, I feel like a large part of me needed validation from other people, right?
yeah,
And because of that need of validation from other people, I mean, it's normal because you are still young, you are still discovering the world, you are still trying things, so you don't really know what is right or wrong, right? So, but a large part of that is then now sacrificing yourself for other people,
mm,
right? Especially,
yeah,
and in fact, you find yourself doing that when it's not being reciprocated. You should sacrifice yourself from other people, but you shouldn't do it in a way that you're not there for yourself, because it's out of yourself that you can help others,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So recent life experiences, and I'm not there's no time, so I'm not going to go too much into them, but
mm,
in the last few years of my life, especially when I moved here, and also being an immigrant was an important part of that too. Because as an immigrant, my brother, it's life will hit you real fast. That
yeah,
if you don't take care of yourself, you can end up on that bridge, or you can end up on a plane back to Nigeria.
yeah. And that's a real fact.
Yeah. So my recent life experience really taught me that, bro, Omo, you cannot keep being there for everybody when yourself is not taken care of. So that understanding of self-care had to now allow me to, like, okay, you have to now look at the people around you,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
really ask yourself, how many people are just takers, and how many people are givers and takers. So they are willing to give as much as they're willing to take. Once you understand that, you can now understand that, okay,
mm-hmm.
first of all, I have to make sure I am healthy, and I'm in a space that I can help. If I'm not in that space, everything has to shut down. If my health is on the line, my shelter is on the line, my ability to feed myself is on the line, I cannot delay that for any other person. I have to take care of myself first. Once that is settled, I can then take care of others. And in taking care of others, because you cannot take care of everyone, you then have to choose who are those that are taking care of me, and who are and in finding out those, so who are the givers and takers, and who are just the takers, and then prioritize the givers and takers. And then once you have done to the level whereby you um you are exhausted, you are spent, then you have to call it a day. And that calling it a day is going to lead to you sacrificing a lot of relationships, because a lot of people are not just going to understand that you cannot be there for them.
Yeah.
And one thing I've started saying to myself in the last years, bro, I'm the bad guy in some people's story, I'm the villain in some people's story, and I'm completely fine with that.
I
I am
think
completely fine with that,
I had to come to terms with that too, and that one,
bro. No matter how much you do,
yeah, and that took
it takes a lot.
sitting down with my like I had to sit down with my mom, because like I was like, she was like, you don't have to carry all these things.
On your
Yeah,
head.
you don't have to carry all these problems on your head, bro. You're still a young man. Like, and like, okay, and it's true, and that and like you said, I'm fine and okay with it. If I have to offend you, I'm sorry, but I'm fine because I have to
As
live.
long as I am not, as long as my heart and God is fine with my actions, I am
Yeah,
okay. Whatever you're going to paint it as, fine. If you ask me for my side of story, I will tell you. I will tell you my thoughts. I will tell you my intentions. But even if you're after all that, you still decide to see me as your villain, so be it, my brother.
yeah, and I want to really thank you honestly for your insight into this topic.
No problem, man.
I think this
I'm,
is the first time we did part one and part two of a topic, so
oh, I'm honored, man. I'm honored. I'm honored.
I'm so happy because self care is a priority in our lives. It is not just a destination. As we wrap up this second part of the self care conversation, it's just a gentle reminder that it is not the destination. It's a daily
Mm,
practice. It can be often messy at times, often imperfect,
mm.
but it is worth the effort. That is one
Yes,
thing I noticed. It is
agreed.
what we have talked about therapy. We've talked
Agreed.
about boundaries. We've talked about redefining what it means to truly prioritize ourselves, like
Yeah.
Chief just said just now. And maybe sometimes it is resonated deeply, or maybe part of it felt, uncomfortable.
Mm.
That's okay. Growth rarely comes without discomfort. That is
Yeah.
one thing.
Mm.
Okay. If there's one takeaway that I want you to, the audience should go with, is that your well-being is not a luxury. It is not a luxury. It is a responsibility.
And a
And caring
necessity.
for yourself is
Mm.
not something you need to justify. It is something you deserve,
Mm.
which
Mm.
is
You're
what
cooking.
you said.
You're cooking, Deji. You're cooking. You're cooking.
It is not something that, yes, now it is something that you deserve as a
Facts.
person. You work so
Facts.
hard, take care of yourself. You need to enjoy You need to enjoy your life. So we want to give a challenge. Choose one small intentional act of self care that honors your needs, not out of obligation, but from a place of self respect. So maybe it is saying no. Chief said it. I think we are in sync. Maybe it
Yeah.
is saying no. Maybe it's asking for help. Maybe it is
Yeah.
resting without guilt. Sorry,
Yes. 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 Yes.
just commit to it. Commit to it.
Choose
Everything.
one this week and do it, man. Choose
Yeah,
one this week and do it.
I'm sure it's just baby steps. Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
But one thing I want you guys to do is just to prioritize yourself
Yeah.
above others.
The
Prioritize
world
yourself.
is not going to end, my brothers, my sisters. Anybody listening to this right now, if you die, your employer will then hire, put job notice the next day. Oh. If you die, your wife will find another man soon. Oh. Because the nights are going to get cold.
Yes. Nah.
If you die, your kids are going to be calling another man daddy soon. Oh. So
God.
so guys, make sure to take care of yourselves, man. And it is in out of your excess that you can help others. Don't The aim at the end of the day should be to help others. But you cannot help others properly without helping yourself. So I think we
Yeah.
are in sync on that, Deji.
That's the beauty of this whole topic. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining me, Chief. I really appreciate you coming, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to invite you again for another topic and you must
I'm
come.
down, man. I'm down, man. Even for spicy out, if you want to go political, I'm down. Even if you want to talk about sports, which is what I really do, I'm down. Anything, man. I'm not
Uh,
afraid of conversations. I love conversations. That's how we learn. I've learned a lot of things from these 2 episodes we've had.
yeah.
It's sad that our friend could not join us, but
No, no.
um
I know you had
looking
them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
Looking forward to hearing from him and from
yeah,
talking with. I saw you guys. I saw you had a lot of. I saw diversity was on here too. I've been following it. I wanted to
that,
really catch up with all the other episodes before, but I
and
couldn't just get the time.
where
But
you,
you're doing good stuff, man. Hmm?
I want an episode where you diversity and some other guys can come on board. I'm trying
Yeah.
to, I don't want too much traffic on the issue.
Yeah,
I'm trying,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. I
yeah.
understand.
So I want to really appreciate you. Honestly, you guys have really been amazing. I think there was this comment somebody gave to me on Facebook. He said the guests are really intellectual. Now that
Hmm.
I don't have dumb people around me. I don't have dumb people around me. No matter who I invite, they are always very, very, givers that can be able to impact your life and influence your decisions. So
Appreciate that, man.
if you found this conversation meaningful, share it to somebody. Please subscribe, share, engage beneath the subscriptions. Thank you. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye.
Peace, guys.
If